I've tried to boil this down in my mind of what is the best quality to hire. What is that? You know, if you had to narrow it down to one thing that was your top priority, number one, and I think for me, the answer, at least currently, is integrity. If someone has, and then maybe next down would be like motivation and passion for the ethos or and the goals and missions of the company. Yeah. And then maybe the next one's like curiosity.
Curiosity is at the top thing. Yeah. It's really far up at the top. And I think it's because that's a quality that can lead down so many new paths. I want everyone here to become more curious as they continue working. It shouldn't be, oh, you come to work and here's your parameters and you have to do these things today. It should be, I'm going to go to work today and come up with the coolest idea or something that we've never done before, or I'm going to swim outside of my lane for a minute because I got really curious about what someone else on the team is doing. That to me is what drives the business. That's the growth space. And so anytime someone comes in here and I interview them or, look into bringing them on the team, if I can tell that they will be super curious, that's interesting to me. That and also common courtesy is a big one, which, I mean, in today's world, that probably sounds really kind of silly to say as far as like in a hiring situation. But I mean, common courtesy goes a long way. And just, being respectful of other people's time, doing what's best for the company, having kind of those core principles of being all in, this is what we're here to do, wanting to accomplish your goals. I think all of this kind of leads to a more modern twist on the hiring protocol, especially for young businesses.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of startups. I work with a lot of startups. That's kind of the world I live in. I was once part of a bigger thing that I'm a 0 to 50 or $75 million business type of guy. And I really love the first 10 million, the first, several years of a company. It's really hard. There's things I don't like about it, but the thing I like about it the most is the tight-knit group of people that are all serving towards a common purpose. The bigger a company gets, the harder that is to do. There's too many people because it's really, really difficult at a real level to keep people pointed at the same North Star. But when you're like five, 6 people or even 10 or 20, you can do it. And it's amazing. It's like the good old days, right? And to introduce somebody new to that team, you got to be really careful not to bring toxic people into that team. And it's really hard to avoid because I can tell the folks listening out there, and I bet you Julie's really good at this. I bet you she can look at a resume and be like, yeah, ooh, I don't know about that. That seems a little too flashy, a little bit too not like, I don't know. You can kind of get like when you've done this for a while, you're not always right. But I can tell you some of the worst hires that I was ever a part of were the flashiest resumes where we, because to Julie's point, college is great. It's a nice plus to have. It's not a must have, depending on the job. There are jobs, obviously, like being a doctor and a lawyer and all that thing, obviously, but we're just talking about right now in the context of working this space. But I think you're right. I think you kind of get a better compass for it too, as you've done it longer, but you're protective over your team. Like you said earlier, it's your main job to kind of serve their, obviously you have to meet the business goals, but you have to, in order to do that, you have to serve their best needs.
Yeah. And, you have to, that respect goes both ways, right? I mean, they can say, oh, well, Julie's the boss, so we have to respect her time. I have to be respectful of theirs too. That's a two-way street. And I do. I'm very protective of my team and I love them. I adore every single one of them. But I think the biggest thing is I trust them. And, there's really no weak link here where I would say, oh, I have to micromanage the project this person's on because, I don't think they're going to do what's right. One of the things that makes me most proud as a boss or a leader, whatever you want to call it, is when somebody in the team will surprise me by making a decision without coming to me for it. And I know that sounds a little offbeat, but I can think of quite a few situations over the years where I have a million things going on over here, and somebody who obviously I have high trust in them, I know they know what they're doing, and we're on the same page, right? We communicate very clearly. It'll come down to, okay, it's this or that, A or B, whatever. And they, boom, make the decision. I know that this is what Jules would want. This is what's going to happen. And then they'll come say, hey, we did this. I know that we've already communicated, and they don't have to come to me for it. And that's team. That's a team to me, where there's such high trust going both ways, that they trust that I will know that they know what they're doing. It's just, it's a beautiful thing. That's when you're in flow. That's when it's, it's not like, oh gosh, you're supposed to check with me on everything and I have to micromanage everything that you're doing. That's not how it goes here. And
that usually doesn't lead to good places when it's like that.
No. And I love building their confidence. They know what they're doing. I trust them. They're smarter than I am. So then you see them shine. And then it's like, wow, they're really in their element now. They own that space. And that's where I've seen this company thrive over the years, where it's just everything starts running more smoothly when people feel like they have ownership of the quality that comes out of it.